late. I knew there might be an event going on in the Rotunda. I'm actually trying to find young actors on short notice to be in a play reading. But just impressions to share with you. I really like the title of the film. I like stories that project a question rather than just an easy solution, because kind of to deal with your question about gun violence, unfortunately there is no one easy solution.
Right. Absolutely. That is.
And I think Dr. Frida, this film is amazing. It is so real to me. It's real to me. I lived in it, through it, but I have hope. I really have hope. We need more people like my sister to get involved, not just be talking about it. It needs to be about having a solution to this problem. Gun violence is a real problem everywhere.
Thank you.
My name is Darlene Smith.
A little loud.
My name is Darlene Smith. Lynnette is my daughter. I'm very proud of her for making this movie. I think it's very needed, and I really wish that more people would come out and view it. And
So what did you think about the film and the impact of gun violence, and what are possible solutions? Introduce yourself.
My name's Gladys. I'm a venue manager at the Rotunda, and I think it's a very important issue, but also that it's a systemic issue of white supremacy and racism, and that it is not your fault. We can do everything we can, talk to our kids, do it, but this is a rooted problem that is not your fault, and you're doing the best you can, and do what you can for the kids.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Donna Clement Jackson, and I gotta say I'm very proud of my cousin. And I guess the same thing is said, if we ask ourselves, what can we do? I think we have to start with we gotta start teaching our children at a very young age. You pointed that out in the movie that, Rashid said it, generation upon generation, it's just happening, the cycle.
Greg O'Neill. I really like the film. It's a very good film. Well written. We got to come together. We got to educate them more. I think it's going to have to start from home too. It's too much violence. It seems like it's getting worse and worse. But like you said, it's going to take a village. It's going to take a whole community. We're going to have to find more activities for the kids. We have to find more things for them to do to get them off the street. And I think education is one option, a better option.
So true. Thank you for sharing that.
Hi, my name is Bert Jackson, and actually I wish is that you got to get the children. I mean, I'm seeing only adults in this room. There should be some children up in this room here.
Exactly.
I've lost several family members to gang violence, so it's very touching for me. Another solution is to have it seen in the school districts of Philadelphia. I think that we're missing a lot with the schools. I also think that we're missing a lot with neighborhoods. Back in the day, neighbors used to know each other. Neighbors used to, see the children as their own. And I think that we have gotten too blindsided by that.
Low places and formulate into our subconsciousness as well as, our intellectuality that we're not better than where it is that we've come from. But every moment that passes by is a chance to
money and programs like yours and all these other gun violences, activities for kids. They got too much free time. They got too much space, too much time, and we just need more people who care, that really don't, and you said, and I think it's been repeated, not just talk about it, be about it, and make other people be about it with you.
Thank you, and thank you for being a part of this process. Thank you.
It doesn't matter how bad you've been through things, but how much of the good that still remains in you to where you can have an impact on sharing them with others.
That's right.
So, yeah, I just feel as though a lot of the ways, especially inner cities and the reliance on our resources of how it's all been developed, unfortunately, there needs to be significant amount of changes, especially when it comes to capitalism as well. So I can go on.
I lost a lot of people to gun violence. I'm from North Philly, Nicetown area, and Germantown. So I have lost my brother at a young age to gun violence. I have lost cousins, countless at gun violence. I think it's hard to say one thing is the solution, but I think it's best that we have more people that do things about it than just sit there and just let it go. That's all.
Thank you, and my condolences. Also want to piggyback on is parent involvement, because a lot of times we give the kids too much freedom and too much liberty to say what they want to do and what they don't want to do. If parents brought the kids out to see this film, we can have a dialogue. We can have a conversation with them and say, what do y'all need from us? You know, so I think that is a part of the solution to the problem. So thank you.
Out to your crib. Something I do got to drop off the bridge so you get a Marcus's family. Because I'm not going to go up.
We're right back out there and do the same thing again.
What I realized, a lot of us went through a lot, lost people and so forth. The family is in shambles, and I did get an open invitation to city council. So you know, if the people right here, we all went down to city council, you probably get an ear and talk to somebody. See, sometimes,
As far as I'm concerned, they didn't, you know, I didn't get my justice that I needed. But the thing of it is, you know, God already, you know, because of God is the reason why I can go on. Right. Other than that, it was very hard for me as a mother to lose my child, especially how I talked to the boys, and I didn't want them to get killed out there. You know, the young boys from high school. I didn't want them to get killed and stuff that happened to them. And then something happened to my son, but he was a deaf. And believe it or not, a kid probably killed him. You know, that's the sad part about it. You know, so I just say to everybody, just, you know, if you have a kid their age or kids school age or young, look in their room. Look at what they have in their rooms and stuff, because a lot of times we don't know what's going on with our kids. We can't say they won't do certain things, because they will. You know, you would say your child not going to do this, and they do. So just
from day one that I can't do it by myself if
Right.
you're not going to help me.
Right.
You are also responsible for your child's success.
That's right.
I cannot do it by myself.
Thank you for
I often talk to the youth that go into homes, so my job is to teach socio-emotional learning skills, coping skills, strategies for them to be able to regulate their emotions. And oftentimes, you know, I'm left with them alone, and the parent's not around. So how is the parents going to be able to pick up on the skills that's being taught to the children to be able to cope with what's happening if they're not present? So the same thing in the school.
But I think it needs to be parenting classes. I know everything they're saying, you know, starts at home, but if home don't know what they're doing, you know, how can they teach our youth what to do? I also hear you, we always say it takes a village. And yes, back in my day, we had a village. Now you can't really have a village because that parent ready to fight you because you said something about their kid or you disciplined their kid. You know, they come knocking on their door and they ready to either fight or shoot you. So it's like, it's hard. So now nobody's saying anything. Everybody's staying silent and not talking about the issue. And
that certain communities are deliberately disenfranchised, and I think that the education system is one of the first things that are targeted.
So true. That's so true. And I always say that, you know, sometimes it's stuff you can't learn in the textbook, but life skills is extremely important because you're out here and you need to learn how to cope with life. Even if it throws you a good hand and a bad hand, you got to play the best you can with the hand that you're dealt. So I think it's good to learn math and reading and writing, but it's also good to learn life skills. Which is not in the schools, and it should be.
That movie back in the schools, starting in the middle school. I think kids would benefit from that movie because I think the concentration should be on conflict resolution.
Yes.
Not hitting each other, that is constant. The girls, the boys, they're constantly hitting each other. They don't know when.
People, that ties into life skills, because coping is a part of life. So a lot of times nobody is immune to the trials and tribulations of life. That's what we forget. And life is both good and bad. It's not either or. You don't get to pick or choose, but you do get to choose how you handle it. That's the key.
And she thought, oh, he killed my son. And I get it. I know you're going to be upset. But your son was out here killing a bunch of people. And she ended up finding out, some kind of way that he didn't just get murdered. Mm-hmm. But many times I had to do that explaining to people. So, know where your kids is at, know what they doing, like someone said, and the fathers need to step up. And that's bottom line.
Right. Thank you
bottom
for that.
line.
And if you have an absentee father, or if the father is deceased or incarcerated, there are many mentorship programs, so you can get your kids.
As a retired police officer, what I've seen is the black family being systematically torn apart.
Mm.
Black fathers in prison. And I don't know if people realize or ever thought about the only drug that affected black women was crack cocaine. Black women weren't heroin addicts for the most part, LSD. Black women, their fight with crack destroyed the black family. Your fathers are in prison, your mothers are on crack. Who's raising these kids?
So they know what love is, so they cherish humanity, cherish life.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care.
Yeah.
So even if it's at home, the neighborhood, when we was coming up, we had the Police Athletic League. I grew up with my girl right here. We used to play ball.
Absolutely.
We had PAL. We had the CYO Christian Youth Organization. We had all these different neighborhood organizations that we played chess, checkers, spelling.
Nipsey, it does take the village. And people say, oh, you was a good parent. And I said, I didn't do it by myself. I had help. Okay? And number one, parents, you're responsible for what your kids do. Okay? And keep talking to them. Tell them you love them. Because that's one thing we don't do enough of.
Right.
There are plenty of programs for these youth. I tell people
Some are free.
It's a Saturday financial group in Germantown. The first Saturday of every month. I tell plenty of people they feed them. They play financial games. My sons and maybe 4 other kids are the only ones there. So you have to keep them busy. There are plenty of things. You have to ask the questions. And you have to keep them busy. There are programs, and if you can't afford it, there is money. I don't know where the money is.
They're not getting no attention. Nobody's talking to them. Like they just so filled with so much anger because they're not getting no attention. They ain't getting hugs, love, pats on the back. Good job. Even if it's just raking leaves, excellent job. It's like
and taking care of your household, and you have a child in your house that you can't do anything with.
Once his pops will be out all night, she be taking out that frustration out of him. Telling him he just like his father. Like he ain't gonna be nothing. So James out here in this world trying to be that father.
Alright? That's why I'm here. But you ain't never been here though. So now you wanna show me a death bit like you Superman or something? Take that cape off. You ain't no real man.
Man, I would snatch the teeth out your mouth.
Yeah, alright.
You keep talking to me like I'm one of your little French mamas, boy.
Hey! Cut it out. A mindset. If you don't change the way you think, you're not going to change the way you act. And like someone said earlier about training up a child, like the scripture says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart. People need to expose their children to certain things when they're younger, because when they're a little bit older, it's not exciting, oh, that's corny, or how the kids say that's Joe, or whatever the terms that they use, you know what I'm saying? And so that's a problem. That's why